Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, we are discussing about lung volumes and capacities. So the air in the lung is measured in terms of lung volumes and capacities. This plays an important role clinically to know about the respiratory disorders. So it plays an important role in pulmonary function test. Physiologically, the lung volume can be subdivided into the static lung volume and dynamic lung volumes. The static lung volumes are those which are measured after the completeness of respiratory process. So here the lung volume that are not affected by the rate of the air movement in and out of the lungs, whereas the dynamic lung volumes depends upon the rate at which the air flows out of the lungs. So it is always measured during the fast breathing situations. So in case of static lung volumes, there are about 4 volumes that are described, like tidal volume, inspirator reserve volume, expirator reserve volume and residual volume. Whereas in case of dynamic lung volumes, we do have forced vital capacity, forced expiratory volume for 0.5 second, 1 second or forced 2 second, etc. So it is forced expiratory volume T. T determines the time at which it is measured. So today, both measurement of the static lung volume and dynamic lung volume is important clinically to know about the obstructive diseases of the respiratory system. So today we are going to see in detail about the static lung volumes. In the static lung volume, the first volume that is described is tidal volume, TV, or also represented as VT. It is the amount of air that moves in and out during a respiratory cycle. So in a respiratory cycle, we do have an inspiratory phase and an expiratory phase. What is the amount of air that is going in and what is the amount of air that moves out during a inspiratory and expiratory phase is referred to be as tidal volume. So this is the tidal volume. The amount or the volume of the air is described for different species. For example, in case of dog, it is said to be around 144 to 150 ml. In the cow, it is given as 3100 to 3800 ml. In the horses at around 6000 ml approximately, and in the chickens at around 25 ml. And in case of human subject, normally the tidal volume is said to be around 500 ml. So this tidal volume can either increase or decrease depending upon the ventilation requirement of the body. The second volume that is described is inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume. It is a volume of air that is inspired over and above the tidal volume inspiration, or it is an extra amount of air over and above the tidal volume inspiration that is inspired. So we do have the tidal volume inspiration, the extra amount of air that is inspired is referred to be as the inspiratory reserve volume. The third is expiratory reserve volume or ERV. So this is an extra amount of air that is expired after normal tidal volume expiration forcefully. So we do have tidal volume inspiration here. The extra amount of air, that is the inspiratory reserve volume, comes back, and we do have a normal tidal volume expiration. The extra amount of air that is being expired out. So here if you take a normal tidal volume, the extra amount of air that is expired out forcefully is referred to be as expiratory reserve volume. The fourth important is the residual volume, RV. The residual volume refers to the amount of air that is still present even after forceful expiration. So it constitutes for about 20%. This is most important because number one, it helps in the aeration in between the respiration. Number two, it will prevent the collapse of the alveoli, prevent the alveoli collapse. So if you see the graphical representation to put together the different volumes, here in the y-axis we do have the volume in ml, and in the x-axis we do have the time. So normally the air that is moving in and moving out during normal quiet inspiration expiration, so this is referred to be as tidal volume. So after the tidal volume inspiration, what is the extra amount of air that is inspired with the help of the inspiratory muscles? So it is referred to be as inspiratory reserve volume. So again here we do have the normal tidal volume. So after the completion of tidal volume expiration, what is the extra amount of air that can be forcefully expired, again with the help of expiratory muscles, is referred to be as expiratory reserve volume. Even after forceful expiration, there is still some amount of air that is left behind, which is referred to be as residual volume. So we do have lung capacities. Lung capacities are nothing but the combination of 2 or 3 volumes or more volumes that are described here. So we do have total lung capacity. Total lung capacity. It is a total volume of the air in the lungs. It is a sum of all the volumes that is described. So it is tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume plus expiratory reserve volume plus the residual volume that is present is referred to be as the total lung capacity. So I can take in this graphical representation this as total lung capacity. It is the TV plus the IRV plus the ERV plus the residual volume. It is a total volume of the air that is present inside the lungs. Number 2, we do have vital capacity. So it is a maximum amount of air that can be breathed in after most forceful expiration. or it is a total volume that can be forcefully taken in and which can be forcefully put out is referred to be as the vital capacity. So, the maximum amount of air that is taken in after most forceful expiration in either way. So, it is equal to the tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume plus inspiratory reserve volume. So, tidal volume is the normal amount of air that moves in and moves out. Forcefully you can expire up to this expiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, plus forcefully you can inspire is inspiratory reserve volume. So, this is referred to be as vital capacity. So, the third we do have inspiratory capacity. Inspiratory capacity. It is the total volume of the air that can be brought into the lungs. So, it is tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume. To be more specific, it is the tidal volume inspiration plus inspiratory reserve volume. So, here tidal volume inspiration plus the inspiratory reserve volume gives the inspiratory capacity of the lung. In the similar fashion, we do have expiratory capacity. Expiratory capacity is the total volume of the air that can be made out of the lungs or thrown out of the lungs. So, it is tidal volume expiration plus expiratory reserve volume. So, here, so this amount is referred to be as expiratory capacity. The last we do have functional residual capacity or FRC, functional residual capacity. So, it is the total volume of the air after normal breathing. It is the reservoir of the air in the lungs, or it is that lung volume that is ventilated by tidal volume. So, which is equal to expiratory reserve volume plus residual volume. So, expiratory reserve volume plus the residual volume constitutes for functional residual capacity. Again, functional residual capacity is the amount of air in the lungs after normal quiet breathing, which is equal to expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume. It is the lung volume that is ventilated by the tidal volume. It is a reservoir for the air that is present inside the lungs. So, again, to come to the lung volumes and the capacities in this graphical representation, the amount of air that is moving in and out during each respiratory cycle is tidal volume. The extra amount of air that is breathed in is referred to be as inspiratory reserve volume. The extra amount of air that is forcefully expired is called expiratory reserve volume. The amount of air that is still present inside the lungs even after forceful expiration is called residual volume. We do have the capacity, the total amount of the air that is present in the lungs, which is the sum of all volumes, is the total lung capacity. Vital capacity refers to the maximum amount of air that can be taken in and the maximum amount of air that can be thrown out of the lungs, which is equal to tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume and expiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory capacity refers to the maximum amount of air that can be inspired, which is the tidal volume and the inspiratory reserve volume. Expiratory capacity is the amount of air that can be expired, that is the tidal volume plus the expiratory reserve volume. And we have functional residual capacity, which is the air that is remaining in the lungs after normal expiration, after normal breathing, which is equal to expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume. So we do have spirometry. Spirometry is a common pulmonary function test. That is done by using a device called spirometer, and you get a recording called spirogram. It's a graphical representation. This is used for the diagnosis of the chronic obstructive pulmonary disorders. It may be the pulmonary fibrosis, asthma, etc. So here the dynamic lung volumes are mostly measured, which include the forced vital capacity. So it is a air that is expired out rapidly after maximum inspiratory effort. First you take maximum amount of air by inspiration, then you forcefully expire the air rapidly, which is referred to be as forced vital capacity. And we do have the forced expiratory volume, which can be measured either in 0.5 second, 1 second, 2 second, etc. It is the volume of the air that is forcefully expired out more rapidly in 0.5 second or 1 second or 2 second, which is taken and it is calculated to know the normal values. Even the spirometry can also be used for the measurement of static lung volumes, which is already been discussed now. However, you can measure the tidal volume, inspiratory capacity or expiratory reserve volume by using the spirometry. However, the forced functional residual capacity or the residual volume or the total lung capacity cannot be measured by using the spirometer. Helium dilution technique. Helium is an inert gas, and this helium dilution technique is used for the measurement of total lung capacity.